Hurricanes by Maria Pimenta, Lee K. Verall,
Justine Piscuti, and Julie Scheffler. What is a hurricane? By Julie Scheffler. A hurricane is a huge storm. It can be up to 600 miles across and have strong winds spiraling inward and upward at speeds of 75 to 200 miles per hour. Each hurricane usually lasts for over a week, moving 10 to 20 miles per hour over the open ocean. Hurricanes gather heat and energy through contact with warm ocean waters. Evaporation from the seawater increases power. If you want to learn more about hurricanes, then let's begin.
How and Where Do Hurricanes Move? By Justine Piscuti. If you want to learn about hurricane movement, then this is the place to go. So the only thing that makes a hurricane move is wind. The wind blows the hurricane to different places. The wind blows the hurricane and it does a lot of damage to places that the hurricane landed. Hurricane Alley is a path that many hurricanes follow. Hurricane Alley is found in the Atlantic Ocean. There is more than just Hurricane Alley. Some paths move like straight arrows, others curve like fishing hooks, and others take loop-de-loops. Also, there are no two hurricanes that follow the same path. In 1989, Hurricane Hugo struck the Carolinas. In 1991, Hurricane Bob swept roofs as far north as the state of Maine. In 1985, one of the most unpredictable hurricanes hit the United States. Its name was Elena. She hit Alabama, Gulf of Mexico, tip of Florida, Tampa Bay, Mississippi, and Louisiana. The last name is Sandy. She hit the Caribbean, Jamaica, Cuba, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, Bahamas, New Jersey, Connecticut, New York City, and Queens. This is how and where hurricanes form. How does a hurricane form? By Justine Piscuti. If you want to learn about how a hurricane forms, then this is the place to go. Hurricanes need 5 basic ingredients to form: warm ocean water, proper wind movement that is 74 miles per hour, humid air that has a temperature of at least 80 degrees, a certain distance from the equator, and a calm atmosphere. Hurricanes also need tiny water droplets. The water droplets help a hurricane form because they turn into clouds. In order to have a hurricane form, there needs to be clouds. There needs to be wind in order to have a hurricane form. Wind needs to be coming from different directions. Lastly, the wind needs to be light and traveling in a spiral. This is how a hurricane forms.
Effects of a hurricane by Julie Scheffler. The effects of a hurricane are very dangerous. They can kill 10,000 people per year. They can also cause almost every other kind of dangerous weather. In 1967, a hurricane caused 141 tornadoes. In 1969, a hurricane caused 27 inches of rain to fall in one day. They can also cause tsunamis. One hurricane in 1992, Hurricane Andrew, ripped an 8-foot steel beam that weighs 7 tons off a building. Hurricane Andrew killed 65 people itself. Hurricane can rip roofs off houses, blow down buildings, and even toss cars and boats around in the air. And those are the effects of a hurricane.
Hurricane prevention. To prevent a hurricane from occurring, these are the things that will happen. Forecasters are careful issuing watches and warnings because preparing is difficult and expensive. To evacuate, boarding up homes and offices, closing down businesses, and taking other steps to prevent damage can cost millions of dollars. If a hurricane is going to occur in 24 hours or less, there is a warning. If there is no storm as predicted, less people will pay attention to another hurricane warning. Scientists will look for when and where the hurricane will happen before any warnings. Scientists have tried to weaken hurricanes. They flew planes and dropped dry ice into the clouds to cool and calm the hurricane before it started. It did not work. Scientists today are working on new ideas, but we may never be able to stop a hurricane. The government is planning on new buildings and bridges. They built bigger storm drains to soak big amounts of water. Also, future floods will not be so deep.
And this is how to prevent a hurricane.
When and Where Do Hurricanes Happen? By Julie Scheffler. At least one hurricane occurred every year for the past 500 years. Every year, at least one causes massive destruction. It always happens certain times of the year, usually in mid-August to late October. The Western Pacific storms usually form June to October. Along the Atlantic and Gulf Coast, storms generally form June to November. Frequent storms that affect the U.S. begin in the Gulf of Mexico. In August, as part of the Atlantic warm zone, storms develop further out at sea. Early September is the height of hurricane season. In October, the storms return to the Caribbean Sea and the Gulf of Mexico. Hurricanes occur when seas are warm and the air above is heavy with moisture. Hurricane season begins in the tropics. The only ocean where storms don't appear is the South Atlantic. People are not sure why. Many hurricanes that start in the U.S. start as far away as the Cape Verde Islands off the coast of West Africa. Some hurricanes only last for a few hours, others can last for 7 weeks. In 1971, a hurricane lasted 20 days, most died less than a week. Hurricanes can only form near the equator. Hurricanes can be called different things. Some are called typhoons, and in other places, they can be called cyclones. In May, in Burma, Myanmar, 2008, the hurricane caused over 145,000 deaths and massive destruction. This is when and where hurricanes happen.
Hurricane Safety by Malika Varal. If you want to stay safe in a hurricane, these are the things to do. First of all, listen to directions and follow them immediately. If you live on an island near a coastline or river or in a mobile home, you and hundreds of others may have to be evacuated. Form evacuation plans ahead of time. Get an early start. Roads and highways could be jammed with traffic. Don't wait till the last minute to evacuate. Don't go to the beach or shoreline. Storm surges come quicker and can cover coastlines with several feet of water without much warning. Cut down dead trees or branches. If it is night, have a flashlight with you. Stay calm. Try to be as helpful as you can be. Get to most secure building. Stay indoors and away from walls and windows. Keep pets inside with food and water. Keep items inside so they don't blow away. If your house has hurricane shutters, close them. Have containers of water to last you several days. Don't use the phone unless it is necessary. Have a 72-hour kit with you. It should contain personal hygiene items, prescription medications, extra pair of clothing, batteries, money, road maps, and important documents. Always have a full tank of gas during hurricane season. When you go outside, stay away from downed power poles, dangerous live wires, dangling tree branches, and broken or water or sewer mains. In 1900, there was 6,000 deaths because of a hurricane. In 1992, since there was more advanced warnings, there was only 26 deaths. In 1992, for Hurricane Andrew, the damage cost between $20 to $25 billion. In 1989, for Hurricane Hugo, the damage cost $7 billion. Forecasters can't do anything about the cost. And that is how to stay safe in a hurricane.
How are hurricanes measured? By Maria Pimenta. There are many ways of measuring a hurricane. One way is a drop zond. A drop zond is a parachute that is dropped in the middle of a storm. It contains instruments that measure the temperature, the pressure, and humidity. Then the scientists get all the information that was collected and use it. Hurricane hunters are the ones who are given the dangerous job of going into the eye of the storm and dropping the drop zond. Scientists are launching weather balloons 2 times a day, even if there are no predictions that a hurricane will occur. When they do occur, some will be very dangerous, but others are not that bad. Scientists, when they tell people how strong the hurricane is, use hurricane categories. There are 5 categories. Hurricane categories measure how strong the hurricane is. Category 1 is the weakest of all the categories, so it's not too strong. 2 is the second weakest. On category 1 and 2, trees lean and wind blows very, very hard. On the other hand, category 5 is the strongest. It can take a house apart. The category in the middle, category 3, is not as strong as category 5, but it's still pretty strong. Doors start to fall or break. Category number 4 is before category 5. It's not as strong as category 5, but it's still very strong. That is how hurricanes are measured.